Yep. Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. Hello, our wide audience who is going to watch this video. Welcome, all of you, in this amazing and super thrilling session with one of the very good personalities and known LTD founders with us. We do have Derek with us, who is the founder and CEO of the Nozzle Ltd, who is now getting a wider popularity, and people are just gonna crazy over that. So that because it is offering some of the great features which everyone now is looking on. So yes, I would like to give over to the Derek so that he could introduce himself.
Hi, thanks for having me on. Yeah, my name's Derek and founder of Nozzle. We've been running Nozzle for 7 years now. So unlike a lot of other lifetime deals, we're an established company. We've done mostly enterprise to date. And so for us, AppSumo is the launch of our new self-service platform. We're excited to get all this data that was reserved just for enterprise companies in the past and get it in the hands of everyone who really wants to take their business to the next level.
Great, really great, and I'm really happy to hear that because your tool is really going to help the people so that they could just enhance their business. They could reach their business reach the newer heights. So yes, I would love to hear something, the introduction about the tool, Derek, that how is the tool all about, how Nozzle came into existence. So if you could share something about that with us.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. So prior to starting Nozzle, I was the VP of technology at SEO.com. And unsurprisingly, we did SEO. We were an agency. And I had all the major tool vendors at the time, Conductor, Bright Edge. They were all coming to pitch us. And it just seemed like it was so expensive. They didn't give us access to all the data we wanted. And I thought, surely we can do this better. And so that's how we got started into Nozzle.
Great, great. Yeah. So it was just a wonderful journey, what we can say is. But do you know, I would love to ask you that how you started your journey and why the tool was designed. That means what all things were in your mind when you were going to design the nozzle, and ultimately nozzle is in front of us.
Sure,
So
a couple of things. First off, anyone who's ever done SEO, they know that every keyword isn't created equal. Some keywords are super important to your business and you want to track them daily, or we have customers even tracking hourly. But with tools, many of them, they force you to only track daily or only track weekly. And it ends up being not often enough for your most important keywords, or it's too often and it's too expensive to track all of the keywords you would like to track. So we would see people with, oh, well, we have a couple of different rank tracking tools and our important ones go in this expensive one, but then we have some other ones over in this other place, and then you can't do reporting together, and just frustrating. So for us, being able to have custom scheduling where you could make the value of your keywords match with the frequency that you're pulling your data was one of the primary drivers for us.
really, really good. That means you were just emphasizing over the problems of the people, that what are problems they are facing and what might be the best solution so that you and the team could help them out with that. So yes, that's really
Yep.
great, and I'm really happy to hear those things with you. Then I would like to just ask you that what all challenges did you face? Was there anything which ultimately you feel was a major obstacle and which you were able to overcome that? So anything like that?
Um, so, so specifically the custom scheduling, when you start creating reports on data that isn't sampled at the same frequency, it starts to introduce some challenges. So again, I understand why these companies, it's only daily or only weekly, because then it's very simple. Oh, this is exactly what happened. But when you have some things daily, some things weekly, just the naive graphing of any statistics is going to show big spikes every week when you pull that next big batch or the next month. And it becomes very hard to tell, hey, did anything meaningful happen? So we've done a lot of work in doing some up and down sampling so that when you, for example, right, if you track a bunch of words daily, you have some weekly and some monthly, we will copy forward or backward just during in that reporting session. We'll say, okay, let's assume that you had the same rank for all of these weekly keywords on each day. And so that way your charts, they look as though you sampled them daily, and anything that changes is easier to jump out at you. Yeah, it was definitely a hard challenge to overcome to make that work and work well.
Really, really, Daryl. And do you know what I have also personally observed these days is that data is a very important thing nowadays. If you are able to track anything, if you are able to keep a very good compilation and maintenance of your data, you will be able to get an edge over your competitors in a very good way. And ultimately, in a longer run, it will help you grow your business exponentially. So yes, I would agree with you in that. Yeah. So if you have designed something which could track the data, and we all know that data actually is ruling the world nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And that
Derek.
was, again, one of the key things that we wanted to do was not hide all the data behind, either an API, or most tools don't even let you get access to it. You have direct access in Nozzle to your data in BigQuery. You can query it however you want. You can extract it. You can copy it. You can archive it. So your data is your data, and we're not ever going to hide it from you or force you to pay extra money to try and get it out of the system.
To that. Okay, really, really good, Derek. Okay, so I just wanted to ask you that in your way, how do you think that that means in just a very small thing, how the tool solves the problem for which it was designed, or would you like to that means throw some somewhat light on its effectiveness? That how is it all effective, so that our audience could know that how is it helping them? Yep.
Sure. So one of the most valuable things that Nozzle brings to the table is unlimited competitor analysis. So a lot of tools and simple rank trackers, all they do is they say, oh, this domain ranked number 12 on this day for this keyword. But it's like, well, who ranked above me? Who is moving in the SERPs? Who is, what is actually happening? And so since we allow you to have unlimited competitors, you can actually see what's going on without a lot of other tools, even ones that have been recently active on AppSumo. They'll charge you an extra credit every time that you want to add a new competitor. And even though the credits seem like they're higher, they end up being a lot less cost effective after you've added just a couple of competitors.
Really good. And yes, when you are able to track your competitors, it means indeed you are getting a great opportunity to grow your business. Because every time a new thing, that means which may come in your mind, I'm really sorry. Every time you always wanted to know that what all things are going in the mind of your competitors, because ultimately you always wanted to have an edge over them. So yes, when you are able to get an accurate and precise data on that, it's gonna help you out in a very good way, in a very effective way. So yes, guys, we are hearing some very wonderful things from Derek, which actually we weren't aware about just going through the page only. So thank you so much, Derek, for that. Yes, so Derek, would you like to give a live demo of the product or anything like that in your website?
Sure,
Or
yeah, I'd love to.
great. I'm just gonna permit you for the share screen. Yes.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Sure.
Where's the little button? Share screen. All right, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that, Derek.
So I'll go ahead and I'll start just with the initial onboarding process. It's really gotten a lot better. So depending on when you may or may not have signed up for a trial, even just during the first 2 weeks or so of our AppSumo availability, we've added a bunch of steps, made things a lot simpler. We know that we have gotten feedback that things can be confusing, and we're working really hard to make that as simple as possible. So step one, pretty simple. You'll sign in, create a user account, and you can sign in with Google. That's what I'm going to do here. But you can also do an email sign in, create your user, give us your name and information, and you can update that profile. And then you'll go ahead and create a workspace. So for here, we can do, this is the, demo account. And the next thing is you're going to create a project, depending on if you're just a single business. Doesn't matter if you're small or even a large enterprise account, you'll probably only need the one project. If you're an agency, you'll want to generally have a project per client. You also want to have one yourself, so we default it to be whatever you've named the company. And so we'll create that. The next thing we'll type in here is the primary domain. So let's just say we're going to track Nozzle. You can do a number of different things. You can add a Google My Business ID if you're tracking anything local. You can also track your YouTube videos. That's something pretty unique.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that here, and I'll show you later what this does behind the scenes. But this sets up your initial brand account, and then we're going to say, okay, here's some keywords I want to track: rank tracker, enterprise rank tracker. And you don't have to do this, but you can choose to add some keyword groupings in here. Sorry, this one here is not enterprise. This one will be a part of our enterprise group, as well as tracker. So you can set that up real quickly here. You can choose what devices you want to put things on. Tracking, generally, you'll only need to do tablets. Are probably overkill for most people unless you have a large majority of your audience coming from there. And then typically just picking either Android or iPhone will suffice, and you can choose that. You can choose any country you want. We've got a handful of pre-selected locations available here. You can also jump in, and by default, it's restricting over here on the left. It's filtering to the United States in English. You can take that off, and you can look at anything in the world. You can do countries, cities, any language you want. If you said, okay, I really want to do Chinese, and we've got simplified and traditional, and it'll start to show you some of the places where you can track. So really simple to come in here and choose all the specific locations. And then, as I mentioned before, you can choose any sort of schedule that makes sense for you. You can save that, and then you can do an initial competitor. So let's say Moz.com is a competitor, and I know that their channel is at youtube.com/Moz, and we'll add them. You get this cute little Pac-Man ghost, and you can add as many competitors as you want. And then once you're done, we'll point you at a quick little walkthrough, show you our support site and roadmap. So it's pretty simple to get set up. And this is still going to be collecting data, but I'll show you what those brands look like. So you'll see that we've got, for Nozzle, and we've got 28 properties, and Moz has 58. You'll obviously note that we didn't type in that many. So we did a lookup behind the scenes where not only did we look for various social media properties that belong to your account, by typing in your YouTube channel, we've now imported all the YouTube videos on your channel. And that's something very unique to Nozzle. Typically, it's very difficult to track your YouTube and where it ranks on Google because it's, all these unique watch IDs or video IDs. There's not like a convenient prefix like some of these others to watch on. So I think that's a pretty killer feature that Nozzle has. And again, it makes it super simple. Did you have a question there?
No, because I think that tracking YouTube really is very difficult. So I think if it's gonna track that and if it's able to do that, it's really a very unique feature, Derek, because I have also been in this community for quite a long period and I haven't seen such a feature feature earlier. So yes, I would really highly appreciate it.
Great. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing that we offer that no one else does.
No,
I'm going to jump over to another account that we have set up as a demo that has some more historical data. So I'll go ahead and close out of that. This is our Nozzle account. And we've got, I love dark mode myself, but you can use it in light mode or dark mode, or by default, it goes to whatever your system is set up as. And I'll zoom in just in case we've got people that are having trouble seeing any of the text here.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that we've gotten feedback that it's overwhelming at first glance. There's a lot of metrics that are available to you here. My first thing is to say, don't get overwhelmed. Once you know what you're looking at, it really doesn't, it's not going to be that overwhelming, and you're going to be excited with the amount of data you're going to be able to look at just at a glance. But to start off, I'm going to dive in and we're going to look at a single keyword before we show you kind of all the different aggregations that are available. And we're going to look at one burner camp stove. So this account is REI. It's a company that does outdoor camping gear. I don't know how international they are. But so we're going to come down here and we're going to look at this one burner camp stove. So you can see they've got a giant product listing here.
Yeah.
This is the actual HTML that you can look at for today. You can look back at any period in history while you've been tracking that keyword. So this is a great way to really understand at a fine-grained level exactly what Google's showing.
Yeah, so that means everything which we see just in the front end, we aren't able to analyze it, that what actually is happening. So I think Nozzle is giving you that clear picture that how the things are going and how the things are happening. So yes, Derek, it's a very useful feature, I would say. So yes, it's highly appreciable. Yes.
Especially when you get, if you have clients or someone says, well, I Googled it and I saw something different. With most tools, you don't have a way to go back and audit exactly what it looked like. But with this here, you can see exactly what we're doing, and you can overlay a bunch of different columns on top of this. So you can see exactly what we parsed out, how it came out, and what it looks like. So we've got these ads up here first. Each of them is parsed out individually. And then as you scroll down, you'll see Amazon is ranked number 1 organically, and number 2, 2 separate things. Then we get to a popular products pack where there's just a ton of clickable things. And every single one of those is addressable individually. You can Google for it. We do a lot of data extraction, and so I'm going to throw on a custom column here. Let's look at price. So you can see that we're parsing the price out of each one of these products. So beyond just rank tracking, we're really letting you do full monitoring of every piece of data on the SERP. You can do data mining. We've got the price for every one of these items. Google will often have like a SKU in the back end. They'll have vendor information, pricing, review counts, all of that you can pull out of Nozzle. It's pretty powerful.
Really, and you could be very aware while making any decision or any purchase. You can have just a complete background information, so a very known and very careful decision what you can take with the help of Nozzle, guys. So yep, Derek, yeah, we are just getting new things out of that, and we are just learning new things which we weren't aware about. So you, thank you
Yep.
so much for that.
So some other metrics that are unique to us, we do pixels. So as Google continues to add more ads, as they add more SERP features, knowing that you rank number one doesn't always mean what it used to mean. So we have this pixels from top metric that you can see here, that even though this ranks number one, you're going to see, oh, this is 572 pixels measured from the top of the page. And so even if your rank isn't changing, it's possible that those pixels from top are moving a lot as things come in and out of the SERP. So this is a way to really understand and objectively understand how far down the page you are.
The page you are. Yeah, exactly.
And then above the fold is another pretty awesome metric that I'm excited about. Is it tells you, because we're measuring not just how far down, but the height and the width of each one of these results you can see outlined here. And we're telling you that of all of the available above the fold space, this is getting 4.1%. Obviously, the second result is a larger result, and it's at 7.2%. And it's a metric that is understandable, even if someone isn't necessarily an SEO expert.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Above the fold's been around for newspapers. It's been around for hundreds of years.
really, really. And do you know, Derek, we do have many people who are just amateurs, who are just beginning their journey. They aren't SEO experts. They do not have that much technical expertise wherein they will be able to analyze these things. So Nozzle is just doing ready-made things for them. Everything is ready. You just have to analyze and do the things work for you. So
Yep.
quite a very easy and very useful feature for everyone. Yep.
Yep. We want to make all this data available to everyone. And you don't have to dive into this level of detail if you don't want to. This is a convenient way to understand exactly what these metrics are. Finally, the last thing I'll show you here is we've got click-through rate and estimated traffic and PPC value that gets assigned to these. And so you can see that we're, unsurprisingly, the first result is getting the majority of the click-through rate. And every page is modeled independently based on how many ads show up. It's a different click-through rate curve for every single page and every SERP. We've done a really good job modeling that, and then you can get an idea for how many clicks there are coming through. And then PPC value is taking those estimated clicks and multiplying it by the average Google AdWords cost per click metric. So this one here, it looks like it's the dollar cost per click. But that gives you at least an estimate for this is how much I would have had to pay for the amount of traffic that I'm getting for free through the organic results.
Really direct. And you're also able to analyze the people's behavior, that how the people are clicking, what all changes you can make, and how can you improve yourself. So actually clicks are very useful in that way also. So if you are able to track that record, that how the people are clicking, you are actually tracking the minds of the people, that how are they behaving to various perspectives. So yes,
Yep,
a very useful thing.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of detail you can get down here. And then I'm going to zoom out and we're going to look at kind of what the competitive landscape looks like for across a lot of keywords. And again, all of the metrics that we're going to look at, we just talked about, and they're the same throughout the application. So even though there might be tabs and lots of metrics displayed, again, it shouldn't be too overwhelming for you because they're going to be the same everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to click up here to this tab, and we're going to look at competitive share of voice. By default, we show based on brand type, so owned versus competitors, and those are all aggregated together. You can change this to say, okay, I want to look at specific brands, not just owned versus competitor. And then you'll see here, we are explicitly tracking, like in the brand setup I showed earlier, we're tracking not just rei.com, which is ourselves, but Amazon, Walmart, and these others.
Yeah.
And you can see historically how many keywords that they rank for. And then over here, we're looking at which rank group. So Amazon has 2.9 thousand number one rankings, 2.6 thousand number two rankings, so on and so forth. So you can get a good idea for what that distribution looks like.
Really, very comprehensive data and very useful too. Yeah.
We sure hope so.
Yeah.
And we're looking at almost 15,000 keywords being tracked here in this data set. You can always zoom in if you just wanted. We were just looking at a camping stove. So you can drill in and say, I only want to look at stove related keywords. And so all the metrics will readjust, and we're only looking at a subset. So the more keyword groups and that you can provide, the better you'll be able to segment and understand your data. Then again, right, simple metrics like rank. This is what everyone's used to seeing in a rank tracker, and you can see, these keywords are pretty stable. There hasn't been a whole lot of movement.
Yeah.
Pixels from top, again, we discussed. Click-through rate above the fold, and every time you click on one of these metrics, it will adjust the table below it. You can look at estimated traffic. Again, it's a similar story, telling you how many clicks are coming from each of these ranking groups. So obviously, again, most of the clicks are coming from keywords ranked in position 1, but it tails out from there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's no limit to how many brands and competitors you can monitor. You can add those all you want, but that's not the only way that you can look at it. You can come in, and if you change this roll-up aggregation view to domain, now we're going to look at all of the domains, not just anything that we've pre-configured. So for this, you don't have to even do anything. You get this for free out of the box. And now we're looking at, if we scroll down here, there are 4,203 domains that we're going to be analyzing. And so you can see up here, here's who's getting ranking for the most keywords. Unsurprisingly, Google is always represented on their own pages.
Yeah.
And as well as YouTube. But it goes down from here. This is a great way to do competitor discovery and understand what's going on.
Really. And the best part is that that means you can track all your competitors and you can get the data. There is no limit on that, right, David?
Exactly. There's no limit. There's no extra cost.
Okay. In that much,
all you do is we pull the data for you once, and you can analyze it in any way that you want. No extra charge.
Okay. And Derek, if anyone wants to, that means get the data of a particular thing, can he do that? And
sorry, can you say that again?
That means if a person wants to get the data of any particular brand or any particular brand value, will he be able to do that, as they are getting unlimited things? So yes, I think we'll be able to do that. Yeah.
So now that we've said, okay, here's what the competitive landscape looks like, you can zoom in, you can drill in to say, okay, I'm interested in exactly what eBay or HomeDepot.com or Sears, exactly how they're ranking. I'm going to go over here to what I've pulled up. We're back to this owned data. And so this is where before we were looking at competitive data. Now we're looking specifically just at these owned brands. And again, it feels different sometimes, but it's the same metrics that we were just looking at. Keywords, rank, pixels from top, click-through rate. It's really helpful, in my opinion, to show all of these metrics side by side, because then you can get an idea of, hey, was there movement? Was it correlated with one thing or another thing? And there's a lot you can get just at a glance that way.
Yes, exactly, Derek. Very useful, very powerful, I would say that. Yeah.
And so here, again, it's the same metric we were looking at, except here we're seeing how many keywords are in each of these rank groups over time. And so you can see if you're growing or not. And then as we come down, we've got a lot of different keyword groups configured. And so this is showing, because up here we're currently selected on keywords as our active metric. That's what all of the charts down here are going to show. So this is how many keywords each of these keyword groups is ranking for. Segments, we have 100+ segments, and you can create your own custom ones that let you dive into detail on any specific search feature. And so this segments graph here is saying, okay, for which specific segments am I doing the best? So again, you're looking for, this has image. So here at the end of August, early September, the number of images in our searches or in our results has gone up, almost looks like about 33%, which is a huge jump.
Yep.
And then finally, you can see at an actual URL level, so very, very detailed, exactly which of your URLs are your highest performing URLs.
Yeah.
And then finally, down here at the bottom, this is the keyword table that if you've used other rank trackers, this is often about the only way you have to look at your data, which is my domain, tell me a keyword and where I rank. For us, I mean, obviously this is very important, and you can look at that, and we have it here with all of our different metrics available. And so this may be where you're most comfortable. And this is in this overview dashboard. We're just looking at a small summary of what's in these other dashboards here. And you can always click into these to just zoom in on just this keyword table.
And exactly the best part is that direct people need not to have very technical expertise in that. Even if they aren't having that much idea, it's a very easy to use tool. They can just simply do a little bit of things and everything will be in front of them. So it's the best part, because not everyone is that much capable in that sense that he's able to do a lot of things. They want something which is very easy to use, wherein they can get everything putting very little efforts. So not much efforts are needed, guys. Very simple and easy to use tool. Simply you have to do some simple things and you will be able to have an ocean of data in front of you, which you can analyze in different ways. So Derek, I would like to really highlight this thing to our people.
Thanks. And then finally, now that we've kind of gone through the sub dashboards, we'll revisit what we're looking at here on this home screen, which again can feel overwhelming, but it's just the same metrics. We're looking at, here's our average rank over the last 30 days.
Okay.
And how many keywords we have in each of those buckets, which is exactly the data we just talked about. You can see which of your keyword groups have gone up or down the most. So kudos to the team for camping griddles. They've really stepped up their game. And then here is that brand competitive overview. So you can see here's the brands that we're tracking and has anything changed. And then finally, for your keywords themselves, what are your biggest winners and what are your biggest losers? Yeah. And so you can see exactly which keywords have had things happen. Oh. And if you click on any of these other metrics, you'll see that these other graphs, they adjust. And so now we're going to see winners and losers by pixels from top, or our winners and losers on keywords from that. So this is all that same data, just compressed so that, right, if you have an agency, you've got a lot of clients, great. It's very simple to just kind of see how everybody's performing together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Derek. And yes, I would really like to congratulate the team. They have really designed a very good, congratulations you too, Derek. You're the founder as well, and as well as the entire team to design such an awesome tool and bring in front of the people to just lessen the trouble that they were facing in terms of the data. So yes, thanks. Really useful. One thing I would like to ask you, Derek, we do have a lot of entrepreneurs in front of us. We do have business persons. How the tool is useful for them? Would you like to say some words in that regard, in those terms, specifically for them, if you would like to say something?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, having good SEO is important for any business or any entrepreneur. And so what you can do with this data is you can start to analyze, okay, where am I performing well and where might I want to put some more efforts into? So if I'm looking at a specific keyword group for REI, let's say camping griddles, where we've seen that they're doing really well, right? My guess is that they've gone in and they've said, okay, I'm going to write an article where I'm going to build some links to my camping griddles page because I think I can get a lot of extra traffic there. Okay. And so this is great for your content teams. We have an upcoming dashboard. This people also ask dashboard here on the left.
Okay.
That we're pulling in any Google search, you're going to be seeing you're generally going to see a people also ask section. Let's see if we've got one here. Typically, they're up at the top. But so we'll show you which questions people are actually typing into Google the most. And then you can use that to build out your content calendar to say, oh, these are the questions I need to answer on my website. Okay. And we order them by how often those questions show up so that you can start writing the articles that make sense for your business.
Okay, yeah, got it. So that means a lot more things are in the pipeline that the people are asking about, and the Nozzle team is working on that. So they may have them in the coming days so that they could make them more effective and even more better. So yep. Yes, yeah. So anything else over to that or something like that, which you would like to say?
We're always happy to help. You can see up here, there's this help that you can click in to navigate through our help site, or you can, if you prefer, you can open it in a new tab at help.nozzle.io. We're very responsive on chat, so if you have any questions, you can always pop up the chat window and talk to us. We are very invested in helping you succeed with Nozzle and getting the most out of your investment.
Really. And guys, I would like to tell you that Nozzle team is very responsive. It's my personal experience. You all won't believe that I was able to conduct this webinar only with the help of their help chat. I simply had a conversation with Derek, isn't it, Derek? We haven't gone through any social media platform. We haven't interacted anywhere else. It was just simply through their live chat support system. I just had a word with him. He got agreed upon that, and we have conducted this webinar for all of you. So guys, yes, very, very responsive team. I would really congratulate you and appreciate your work, Derek, in this regard. Yep. So
Thanks. We've spent a lot of time, making sure that we're available for people.
really, really good. And thank you so much, team. Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you, audience, for being with us. And we wish you all the very best for the success of the product. We know you have designed something very unique, very different, and which people were looking for since very long time. So yes, they are gonna use this and they will really appreciate it in very high regards. So you've Derek.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much for having me on.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to have you with us. Thank you for your time, Derek. Thank you.
Thanks.